All right, and we are live. I am Brett Clark, the Director of Technology for Clark County Schools. We're so glad that you are joining us here for our virtual field trip down at Louisville Slugger Field, the home of the Louisville Bats, which is the AAA team for the Cincinnati Reds. And today we're going to be talking with several people down at the ball field. And the first person we're going to kick it over to is one of our amazing e-learning coaches, Katie Hutchison. And Katie is down there with Greg Gallietto, who is the the Senior Vice President. And Katie, I'm going to kick it over to you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. I want to give a shout out to Wilson Elementary and my first graders in Miss Daniels' class. Hi, guys.
Katie, your microphone got muted.
Sorry, it likes to do that on me. I don't think it really wants me to talk.
I told my mom the other day, I was like, Mom, I want to be a professional baseball player. And she was like, sweetheart, my moon and stars, you couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with a semi-truck. And I was like, oh, you're right. But it turns out if you love sports, there are lots of careers where you don't have to swing a bat ever. The first one to tell me about that here is Greg Galliette, and he is the Senior Vice President for the Louisville Bats, and I'm going to turn it over to him. And you're on.
First of all, good morning to everybody. Thank you for joining us, and on behalf of the entire Louisville Bats organization, let me be the one to say we're so happy to be part of this, and thank you for thinking of us. As Katie said, my name is Greg Galliette. I'm the Senior Vice President of the Louisville Bats Baseball Club, and actually I've been here for, this will be my 31st season that we're in right now. I've been with this franchise, and I'm a native of Louisville, and I'm a graduate of the University of Louisville, and only worked 1 year in a real job. When I left the University of Louisville, I worked at the Xerox Corporation, selling copiers and, at that time, memory typewriters. And I always wanted to get in professional sports. And at the time, the Louisville Redbirds were really the only professional sports team in the entire state of Kentucky. So I started to pester the old owner of the Louisville Redbirds, and he, I guess, got tired of me bothering him, so he gave me a job. And I've been here ever since. And some of my duties over the years is I've been the sales manager, I've been the group sales manager, I've been the ticket manager. I've even done the public address for 3 seasons with the old Louisville Redbirds franchise back at the old Cardinals Stadium. And if you like watching baseball, that's a great job because you have to watch the game closely each and every night. So that was a lot of fun. My current job, I'm basically responsible for creating the promotions that we do here at the ballpark, and also developing the sponsorships and the advertisements that you see here, not only at the ballpark but also on our radio broadcast. Plus, I guess the fun job for a lot of young men out there listening to this is I get to deal with the players each and every day. So I'm kind of the person that's the contact person between the players down in the locker room and the front office. So that's an interesting job where you get to deal with a lot of different players that come and go out of the Louisville franchise and go to play for the Cincinnati Reds. But probably the fun part of my job is creating a lot of the promotions that you get to enjoy when you come here to the ballpark, and that probably brings as much joy to me and also to our staff as anything, because we get to see the big smiles on everybody's face when they come to the ballpark, and it makes us feel like we've maybe had a hand in creating some of that enjoyment for that family or for those kids. Some of the fun days we've created recently, and we actually have this coming up this weekend, is our Frozen night where we have the Frozen princesses here. They'll be here Sunday evening for a meet and greet, and you can have your photos taken with them. So once again, Sunday night at 6:05, if you want to come out with your family, it's Frozen night here at the ballpark. Plus, each and every Sunday, and this is the first time we've ever done this, this year for the first time, we're doing a Kids Eat Free each and every Sunday. So for all the kids listening, get your parents to bring you out here on a Sunday home game, and you can get a free kids meal while you're here at the ballpark. Some of the other fun days we've done here, we just recently finished up our superhero night, where we had over 25 costume superheroes in the ballpark for everybody to meet. Everything from Captain America and Thor to Spider-Man, Batman, and Superman. And even our players wore special jerseys that were designed to look like the Batman costume. A couple other fun events we have coming up later this season that we've had a great time and a lot of fun creating are a Star Wars night, and we'll have a lot of Star Wars characters in the ballpark for our fans and for the kids to meet. Plus, our players will actually wear jerseys that look like Darth Vader's costume that he wore in the Star Wars movie. So these are some of the fun things that we have created here at the ballpark and that we enjoy doing. And I like to say that each day that I work here is really, it's not like going to work. It's like going to have fun for the entire day, because it's such a fun job, and it's really neat to have a job where you can actually make money doing something that you really enjoy. So I feel like I have a very special opportunity. As the other people that will talk to you later this morning, they'll probably tell you the exact same thing. This has been a real blessing.
So, did you graduate from college?
I graduated from the University of Louisville with a degree in marketing, and went to work in sales and for a corporation such as Xerox. And each day was a bit of a challenge. It wasn't something that I could see myself doing for the next 20, 30 years. So my family had a deep background in sports. My dad played football in college. My uncle was actually the voice of Yale football for 37 years and actually was one of the first sportscasters on ESPN when they first came on the air back in the late 1970s. So I had to find a way to get into sports, and at the only time, the Louisville Redbirds were the only franchise with a professional sports team here in our community. So it's been a great job. It really has.
So what's your favorite part of your job?
Probably my favorite part of the job is the games itself. Getting to watch baseball each and every night, and you know, we play 72 home games. That's a lot of live baseball games to watch. So sometimes when the team's not playing too well and they're in a bit of a losing streak, it can be a little tough to watch. But it's a lot of fun when the team's playing well, like they are right now. You get kind of excited and you have a little bit of a chill going down your spine when the team's playing well and you get to watch them succeed on the field. So it's been a lot of fun so far. I say one of the other great things that I've had the opportunity to do is meet a lot of baseball Hall of Famers down through the years, and a lot of baseball stars that have come through here. So that's an extra perk of the job that a lot of people in their normal jobs don't get to do.
All right, Clark, you want to turn it over to Melissa?
All right, Greg, thank you so much for your time today. Really enjoyed getting to know you. Like I'm a huge baseball fan, so your job is just very cool, very fascinating to me, and it's really great to be part of the tradition and all the history that is involved in baseball. So I will tell you, I'm slightly jealous of what a cool job. So I don't know, Kate, do you want to do a question?
Well, the only drawback about this job is the fact that we have to sometime work 80, 90 hours for a work week. So sometimes I'll chat with my friends on Monday morning, and they'll tell me what they did over the weekend by maybe going to the lake or going to the pool or playing golf, and they'll ask me what I did, and I said, well, I had to work, but this really isn't a job, so it's not too bad.
Greg, if you don't mind, we have a question from somebody I would like to ask one of our classes. They asked, how old do you have to be to volunteer as an usher? So how old do you have to be to volunteer as an usher?
We like our kids to be at least 16 years of age. That way they have the ability to drive themselves to the ballpark. And it's a great first job for a lot of teenagers. So once you get to driving age, you get your license, you turn 16. If you have an interest in being an usher or a ticket taker here at the ballpark, please come see us. It's a great job. It'll take you from basically the first part of April till Labor Day. So for 5 months out of the spring and summer, it's a pretty cool job to have.
And I actually have a question from Wilson Elementary. Miss Daniel, one of Miss Daniel's students wants to know, who is the most famous baseball player you've ever met?
Who is the most famous baseball player I've ever met? Well, there's actually quite a few, because at one time we used to have a baseball dinner in the wintertime back in the 80s when I first joined the franchise. And at that time, it was the second largest gathering of Hall of Famers in the entire country besides the actual Hall of Fame inductions in Cooperstown. So I was so blessed and had the opportunity to meet Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, Bob Gibson. It just goes on and on and on. And I actually had the opportunity to spend about 4 days driving Billy Martin and Mickey Mantle around as they were visiting our owner at the time. And just to hear their stories, it's pretty neat. Recently, some of the players that I've had a chance to meet, Tony Gwynn, who recently passed away, Deion Sanders, who was actually a Louisville Bat at one time, and just recently in the last homestand, I got to meet Barry Larkin and spent about an hour with him. So that's one of the really neat perks of the job, is getting to interact with these baseball stars.
Very cool. 2 questions. One's for me. I'm just curious. Has the Louisville Bats have they always been the have they always belonged to the Reds?
No, they haven't. Actually, when baseball had left Louisville back in 1972, at the time, the franchise here was actually associated with the Boston Red Sox. Baseball left in 1972 after getting into a dispute with the University of Louisville over the use of the stadium out there. and there was actually no baseball here for 10 years. Baseball came back in 1982 from Springfield, Illinois, and at that time they were affiliated with the St. Louis Cardinals. So from 1982 until 1998, we were actually a St. Louis Cardinal AAA franchise. So a lot of those great Cardinal teams that you saw in the 80s that Whitey Herzog managed, a lot of those stars came through, such as Willie McGee, Terry Pendleton, Vince Coleman, Joe McGrain, Todd Worrell. They all played here in Louisville as Cardinal AAA affiliates. Then for 2 years, after the St. Louis Cardinals pulled their AAA affiliation out of Louisville and went to Memphis, Tennessee, we were associated with the Milwaukee Brewers. But that association didn't last very long because we had heard there were some rumblings that the Cincinnati Reds were not happy with their partnership with the Indianapolis franchise. So we were able to partner with the Cincinnati Reds back in 2000, just as the doors of Louisville Slugger Field were getting ready to open. And we've been with the Reds ever since. And it's been a fantastic relationship. And I know the reason the Reds like it so much is the fact that their AAA players, the players that would have to replace somebody on the Reds if they get hurt, are only an hour and a half away down I-71. So there's been actually opportunities in situations where we've actually had some of our players here at the Louisville Bats get called up to the Cincinnati Reds at dinner time. They'll jump in their car, they'll drive up Interstate 71 to Cincinnati, and they'll actually either pinch hit or maybe pitch in relief for the Reds that particular night up in Cincinnati. So that's obviously one of the benefits the Reds see in the relationship.
That's so funny because I'm a pinch hitter for Taylor Swift, and so last night I was actually on call in case something happened, like one of her backup dancers, or if she needed like a singer or whatever. Do we have one more question for him before he goes?
We do. How much do the minor league players get paid to play ball in Louisville?
On average, anywhere from $50,000 to $80,000. And that's for 5 months. Then a lot of these guys actually will go and play what we call winter ball in the warm weather down in the Puerto Rican area, the Dominican area of the region, and that allow them to play baseball from anywhere from November to almost the end of January. So it almost becomes a full-time job year-round. But back when I first started with the franchise in the 80s, a lot of our players, once the season was over, they went home and actually worked a part-time job, maybe at a store or selling insurance or selling cars. All that's changed over the years, and basically these guys are full-time, 12-month-a-year athletes. So if they're not playing baseball, they're at home keeping themselves in shape and getting ready for the next season.
And I'm sorry, just one more question from Ms. Schmidt's class at Wilson. What's up, guys? Who's your favorite baseball player?
My favorite baseball player of all time is actually Carl Yastrzemski, an old Hall of Famer with the Boston Red Sox, who, when I was a little kid, I was a big Red Sox fan, and I always tried to copy his batting stance, which, if anybody would know, he held his bat extremely high in the air. So I was a huge Carl Yastrzemski fan.
All right, thank you, Clark. Back to you.
Again, Greg, thank you so much for your time today. And I probably can sit and talk to you for hours about baseball, and so we'll have to do this again later next year. I hope to send another field trip down there. But we're going to go over to Melissa Stewart. Melissa's down in the field with Tom Nielsen, who is the head groundskeeper. And so, Melissa, I'm going to kick it over to you now and to Tom. Tom, thanks for taking some time out of your schedule to be with us today.
Thank you for letting me talk a little bit about what I do. Again, my name is Tom Nielsen. I'm the head groundskeeper for the Louisville Bats. I've been here for 16 seasons, 24 years in professional sports. I started off in Milwaukee with the Brewers. They used to play football there. The Green Bay Packers used to play there, so we did 4 professional football games and then the baseball season. I spent 4 years in Milwaukee, and then I moved to Eugene, Oregon. Spent 3 seasons in Eugene with the Eugene Emeralds, single A at the time for the Atlanta Braves. Then from Eugene, I moved to Chattanooga, Tennessee, which was at the time was the Reds affiliate, double A with the Reds. I spent 1 season there. Then I moved to Louisville, and I've been here ever since. I'm the only head groundskeeper that's been at this ballpark. I helped build the field when it's originally built. I think I've got the best job in the world. This is my office. I spend a lot of time here actually.
Yeah.
It's not so much like doing I work 12 to 14 hours. I get to spend a little bit more time at home, but now when they go on the road, we have professional soccer plays on our field too. So we have 14 soccer games also, and that overlaps the whole baseball season. So not just baseball, I have two professional sports. So it makes it quite interesting and very exciting.
Hey, Melissa, we're having a little trouble hearing Tom. Can you hold a microphone a little bit closer? Also, there's a volume on there. You might want to try turning that up.
How's that? Is that better?
It's a little bit better. You might want to speak up a little bit. You can't talk too loud. I can turn it down.
I've got a degree in horticulture production from Gateway Technical College in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And that was quite a long time ago. Nowadays, most of my guys that are on my crew are going to school for sports turf management. I have a crew of roughly 10 guys. Either all of them have gone through some sort of schooling or in the midst of going through schooling. I think when I first started, it wasn't quite as important to get a degree in turf, but now that the facilities are becoming so much better and there's more play on the fields, you know, like we have, you know, we have other events going on the field like kids campouts and baseball tournaments and just anything you can think of, concerts. So the turf has to be really in good shape, and I think in the past they didn't care as much what the field looked like or played like, but now with the money that is involved in the cost of putting on, you know, taking care of this, you've got to have someone that really knows what they're doing. So I think it's very important now that most all the guys are going to school and getting a degree, at least an associate's degree, but you can get a bachelor's and you can get your master's in sports research management.
Tell about the retractable mound.
Our mound is retractable. So when we have to switch, we actually have a couple times when we have to turn the field over in 24 hours from baseball to soccer. And the only way we can really do that is we built a retractable mound. So the mound lowers down. It takes about 10 minutes to lower it down into the ground, and then about 4 to 5 hours to get it prepared with the AstroTurf and what we need to do to be able to actually play across it. And then to take it out, it takes another 2 or 3 hours to prepare it back to baseball. But if we didn't have a retractable mound, it would take a day to take it out, and probably a couple days to put it back in. So it definitely saves some time. And I think we are one of only a few, maybe 2 others in the country that are retractable. So we are state of the art, and it's pretty exciting to be a part of that.
Okay. Tom, that's really cool. Can you tell me how many people does it take on your crew to do all the work that you guys do? How many people do you have work on the field on a weekly basis?
Well, like I said, I have a crew roughly of about 10 guys. We start when we have a game. If we're in town, we start usually around 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and we go all the way. If it's a night game, we probably get out of here right around 10:30, 11 o'clock at night with that big of a crew. We try to rotate a few people in because we don't get a lot of time off during the homestand. So if we have a couple extra people, some game day help that will come in and maybe be able to alleviate some of our guys that have been here the whole day. But most of the time, we're all here from roughly 7:30 to 11 o'clock at night.
So let me ask you this question: how do you, stay up to date on the best practices for keeping the field up to date? Do you guys visit other ballparks? Do you learn from other groundskeepers? Do you learn from professional groundskeepers?
Well, organization called the STMA, the Sports Turf Managers Association, and every year we have a big conference somewhere in the United States that rotates, and we all get together and share ideas and share employees. If one person might be just a game day guy one year, starts to, maybe graduates, and then he wants to become a full-time person, and then he might be recommended by another one of the guys. We really have a big family all throughout Major League, Minor League, college athletics, Parks and Rec. We're all kind of connected, so we definitely share ideas with each other and problems, which is very nice. So, there's somebody else that knows the answer out there. You just gotta communicate, and they have a good organization that makes it possible to do that. In my crew, over the last 16 years, I've got over, I'd say, between 35 and 40 guys that I've sent on to get their own fields. They're either head guys or assistants in professional or Major League Baseball, minor league baseball, college athletics, all over the country. So that's probably what I'm most proud of, is sending these young guys off to have a career and have a job that they're going to love like I do. So it's just like kids, sending them off, into the big world. It's scary, and people need help, and I'm there to help them.
That's really cool.
I have a question.
I have one more question. Okay, I'll ask your question. So, my question for you, Tom, is what is your? I know baseball parks are always also unique. That's one of the cool thing about baseball is that every ball field is unique. Unlike basketball and football, all the dimensions are the same. What is your favorite ballpark to visit from this from the beauty of a ballpark? What's your favorite professional or minor league ballpark?
As a fan, I think Wrigley Field, just because of the history, not necessarily the best facilities. Milwaukee, Old County Stadium, that's where I kind of got my start. I really enjoyed that place. It was a good place to grow grass. Now they play in Miller Park, which is a dome stadium with a retractable roof. Much harder to grow grass there. And I've only been there one time, so I don't really, I think it's nice and it's fancy, but I like the old ballparks, like Fenway Park. I think they've just got so much character and so much history. I think that's really, really unique. That's one thing about the game is it's all the great history.
All right, can I ask my question now?
Yep, you can.
I have a question from Ms. Schmidt's class at Wilson. Is the grass real, and if so, how often do you mow it?
Actually, that's a very good compliment. When people say, is that grass fake? I smile because, yes, it's real. It's Bermuda grass. It's overseeded with ryegrass. I mow it at roughly 3/4 of an inch. I mow it usually twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day.
Oh my gosh, twice a day.
It's definitely
awesome.
Very cool. Katie, do you have any other questions from your classes there?
Nope, that's it.
All right, so I'd like to say, Tom, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for telling us all about what you do, and I love to hear about your passion for your job. and that you're still learning and that you're learning from other people. I think it's a great lesson for our students that in every career that we choose to go into, there's opportunity to collaborate with other experts all around the country, and there's always opportunities to learn more. And I think it's really cool to hear about all the retractable mound and all the innovation that you guys have in your ballpark, and to be able to put on baseball games, soccer games, other events there. It's a real tribute to you and your crew and type of work that you do. So thank you for being a part of this today, and we appreciate your time.
Well, thank you very much. And if anyone's ever interested in spending a day with me, they just got to contact me, and they could job shadow and get a little bit better idea of what I do and the passion that I have. It's pretty hard to show in a 10-minute little talk. You need to be out here for a full day to get the real effect of what I do. And I'd love to have anybody that'd be interested in spending some time at the ballpark.
Well, cool, Tom. We will certainly try to take you up on that offer. I think it's baseball parks are, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful sports arenas of any of the major sports. So, very cool. All right, we're gonna end our day over here with Katie. She is with James Breeden. He's the Vice President of Business Operations. James, thank you so much for being a part of this today, and we're happy to have you on board with us.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Katie, your mic.
Hey guys, thank you all for having me, and welcome to Louisville Slugger Field. I would need to start off by telling you that before you volunteer to job shadow with Tom, that you don't just get to walk around. He will give you a rake and a bag of sand and dirt, and he will make you work. So if you don't really want to follow him around and do a lot of work, you better be careful about your job shadow. But he actually does a great job. I think we have the nicest field in minor league baseball, and that's a credit to Tom and his crew. But as Katie said, my name's James Breeding. I'm our Vice President of Business Operations. This is my 17th season with the team. I'm a graduate of the University of Louisville. I took a little different career path to get there. I'm from Louisville. I graduated from high school in 1989, and then I went and played baseball at a junior college in Illinois for 2 years. And when I got out of junior college, I went in the Air Force for 6 years. And when I got out of the Air Force, I was finishing my degree at Louisville, and I was actually studying education to teach math with an undergrad in sport administration. And I did my internship for my undergraduate with the then Louisville Redbirds. And the year I did that, they got approval to build the new stadium, and they were hiring new people, and they offered me a job, and I thought that this might be a little more fun than teaching. Now, some people may argue, but 17 years later, it's been very good. I've held numerous positions in the organization. I started out in just selling tickets, and then I was the ticket manager, then I was our director of group sales, and then our director of ticket sales, and now I kind of oversee all of our budgets and finance and hiring of employees and a lot of our human resource aspects of our job. And I kind of manage all of our money and our season ticket sales, our suite sales, and the expenses and revenue that comes in and out, and help with budgets, as well as all of our people. I would say probably the most important part of my job is the ability to communicate with people, written communication, verbal communication. We deal with a lot of people. We have approximately 600,000 fans that come in each year to the stadium, and when they're really happy, things are easy, but when they have complaints and things don't go so well, it can be really challenging. But that's also probably my favorite part of the job, is that it's never the same. It's very diverse. On a given day here, we may pull the tarp. The next day, we may just be working in the office. Sometimes we have days where things are really easy, and sometimes we have days where it's raining. We don't know if we're going to play or not, and people are calling asking if we're going to play, and it can be very, very challenging. But I would say that the probably the most important thing when you talk about working in baseball is you have to be able to adapt to people. You have to be able to communicate with people, because if the fans and the people who come here don't enjoy the game, and they don't enjoy the playground and the carousel and the things we do between innings, that they're not going to come back. And if you guys and your families didn't come to games and buy tickets, then we wouldn't be here. So really the most important part of our business are you guys, the fans. And one of the things we focus on here is that when people walk out of our stadium, they feel like that their money was well spent. They had a good time. They were, our mission is to provide affordable family entertainment in a clean, safe environment, and that's what we try to do. And we want each person that walks out to be very happy. And it's not all about baseball for us. If you've ever been to a game here, you know that between innings we throw T-shirts in the stands and we throw softy balls, and we've got a playground and a carousel and crazy acts that do things on the field, and we've had a guy that juggles chainsaws before, and we try to do things that even if you're not a baseball fan, when you come here, you feel like you've had a good time and you enjoy what you've done. And that's a big part of us, is we don't think it's just about baseball. We think it's about the entire experience of coming here and having a good time and enjoying yourself with your family. Other than that, it's a lot like any other job. The people that work for me, they sell tickets. So most of the people, if you think about a sales job, some people sell insurance, some people sell cell phones, some people sell computers. My guys, on a daily basis, their average day, they come in around 9 o'clock, and they're calling people to see if they want to buy tickets to games, to see if their companies want to do outings and events here. And so from 9 to 5, it's a lot like any other small business where we're trying to sell tickets and sell our product. And then it changes a little bit at night when we have games, and that's when it gets fun for us.
Hold on. I have a ton of questions. Can I go first?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Ms. Daniels' class is asking, when you said in a safe environment, what can you explain that to the kids? And then they also want to know how much tickets cost.
Our goal with a safe environment is we want people, when they come to the stadium, from the time that they park and walk in the stadium to the time that they leave, that they feel like this is a good place where a family can come and not feel that the environment is in any way not only threatening but even uncomfortable. So sometimes we have events where people maybe drink too much. Sometimes we have situations where someone comes to the game and they're maybe not being nice to the people around them, to put it very simply. And we have a couple of ways we deal with that. So if you were here and someone was around you and they were cursing or they were yelling things that were inappropriate, if you would seek one of our employees out and let them know you're uncomfortable, we would first ask that person to stop. And if they didn't stop, then we have Louisville Metro Police Department officers that would ask them to leave the building. So when we say a safe environment, it's not even just safe. It's we want people to be comfortable and to not feel threatened in any way. As far as the price of tickets, our tickets start at $7 for the lawn and the bleacher seats for kids, and the most expensive ticket here is $12.
All right. My mom, actually, when I told her about this field trip, asked me a question, so shout out to my mom. Hi, Mom.
Oh, Katie, your microphone muted when you waved at your mom.
Sorry, it's so that my computer's so excited. And my mom wants to know how this building was funded and who, like, is it ticket sales that keep it upkeep, or like where does that money come from?
Mute your microphone, Katie.
Right, it's not you, it's me. Okay, interesting story.
Go. The stadium itself and the site we're built on is an interesting story. The building we're sitting in was built in 1895. It was a train depot at the time. So before cars were prevalent, trains and riverboats were the main source of transportation for business. And the trains would pull in the building we're sitting in, and they would offload whatever was on the train, their cargo, and then it would be taken down to the river and it would be shipped up and down the Ohio River. So the building itself is about, 120 years old. And when we got approval to build the stadium, it was actually a scrapyard here. So it was basically a junkyard. So the city invested some money, and then our ownership group at the time invested some money. So it's the financing is a combination of private and public funds. We pay a yearly lease fee to the stadium. It's public record, $775,000 we pay to the city every year. And then once we reach certain goals in ticket sales, we also pay some ticket revenue as well. So the stadium is funded by our ticket sales and our revenue, as well as some bonds and some private funding.
All right, and I think my last question, and this is from a first grade class. They want to know, this is Mitch Schmidt's class, where the team gets their balls from.
Oh.
Things.
I got it. Yeah, very good.
Baseballs are one of the expenses that they're ordered from the league, and baseballs are one of the things that the Cincinnati Reds pay for. So if you look at our business, it's basically divided into two parts. There's the operations and ticketing side, and that's what the Louisville Bats do. So my job is mainly deals with the business of selling the tickets, putting the entertainment on the field, taking care of the stadium, and that's all stuff that we pay for. The players themselves and the manager and the coaches and all the equipment they use is paid for by the Cincinnati Reds, who is our parents' team. So if you think about our business, there's really two parts. There's the baseball part, which is mainly paid for by the Reds, who sign and pay the players and the coaches and the managers and provide their equipment, baseballs, helmets, bats, things like that. And then there's the part you see when you come here and you buy tickets and you see the superstars or you see us giving away bobbleheads. That's all Louisville Bats stuff.
Clark?
All right. Thank you, James, for your time. I feel like I probably can ask you, as a baseball fan, a million questions. I think maybe for sake of our audience, like Tom, I would like to ask, how do you keep up to date on what it is that is best practices at the stadium as far as like entertainment, like the things you guys do between innings, things that drive up ticket sales? Where do you go to learn and get new ideas to keep the experience at the stadium, at Louisville Slugger Stadium, fresh every single year, especially for 72 games? That's a lot of games to try to come up with new and innovative ways to keep fans entertained.
There's actually a lot of things. There's two major meetings for the minor leagues. One of them is the promotional seminar in September, and that's where all the minor league teams, promotional directors, and people that help with entertainment, they get together and we share ideas. And there's actually a book where we all submit our best 2 promotions of the year. So if Star Wars Night, which is coming up later in June, is the promotion that we did really well with, we would submit that. And let's say $1 hot dog, $1 Pepsi's on Tuesday, or we have kids eat free every Sunday now. So we would submit those ideas, and by the time you put 150 teams in a room submitting their best 2 or 3 ideas, we get a lot of ideas like that. The other thing we do is we look at other sports. We look at who's performing at halftime of NBA games, who's performing pregame at football games or major league games, and we're not afraid to go to other sports and try to find some new ideas and some new things that maybe haven't been done in baseball, but we're willing to try them and do them here. So that's how the majority of our acts are found and booked.
What's your favorite promotional night?
Personally, I probably my favorite act of all time was the famous Chicken. He used to be the San Diego Chicken. He's just a classic, and he's great. I like the Superstars. I think they're very good, and they have so many different characters that it seems like they're doing something new every time they get here. As far as entertainment acts, I would say that. As far as giveaways, I love hats. I just think that you can never have too many hats, and we have a lot of different style hats, so I like it when we give away hats. And as a father with 2 elementary school kids myself, if I were picking, it'd probably be Kids Eat Free. Every Sunday here now, we have an inflatable fun zone that's free. We have Kids Eat Free, and the kids' meals, a hot dog, a nacho, and a Pepsi product. And then after the game, kids get to run the bases. So there's not a lot of places where you can pay $7 or $8 for a ticket and your kids eat free. They get to play in an inflatable fun zone for free, and they can run around the bases after the game for free. So from a parent's perspective, I think Sundays and our kids' promotions here are probably our best promotion.
All right, Katie, if you don't have any other questions, I'm done with all my questions here. James, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for helping wrap things up today. And thank you to our classes that joined us, and our everyone, whether you joined us online to ask us questions or you're watching this right now. I think it's been a great field trip. Thank you to our e-learning coaches, Katie Hudson and Melissa Stewart. To all of our guests, Greg, Tom, and James. You guys did a fantastic job.
Is Tom still here?
Tom, Melissa, is Tom still with you? I have you muted right now, so if you're talking, then.
Tom he's back to work now. He was out watering the field. So we came in. I'm downstairs in the tunnel area. There's a nice little lounge, lots of baseball cards on the wall. Down this hallway is the visitors dugout. Down that long hallway down that way is going to be the home dugout, batting cages, and lots more. It's the whole home suite down that direction. And with all-time Louisville managers on the wall. Pretty cool down here, kind of nostalgic. Nice little lounge area for players, coaches, workers, all sorts of things, I guess.
Thanks.
Yeah, it was cool listening to James, but then also seeing on the screen down there everywhere Melissa was walking around to is really neat like that. So kudos to the Louisville Bats and the whole Louisville Bats organization. You guys had a great stadium, great operation. It's a great way for to spend an afternoon with your family, an evening with your family, and so I hope all of our students and families have a chance to take advantage of that. Coaches, if you have anything left to add, then I'll let you guys say your thanks or anything that you'd like to throw in here at the end.
Thank you so much to the Louisville Bats, to James and to Greg and to Tom for letting us come in. I have learned so much today. I know the kids are excited. I'm excited. I might have to put in my resignation, Derek Clark. I don't know if I work for that. I think I'd be pretty good at marketing. I should probably be on radio. Oh, they just offered me a technology job. Touch out.
Melissa?
Thanks everyone for participating in our field trip today. I've had a great time, and I really appreciate the Louisville Bats organization for coming in at last minute and just being so hospitable to us to do this field trip. Thanks, and everyone have a great day.
Again, thank you to everybody for joining in on our field trip today. Everyone did a great job. Thank you again to the Louisville Bats, to our eLearning coaches, all the hard work you do. Students, we have a week from today. It's the last day of school. Finish strong, and have a great summer.